Morning, everybody. Um, I'm still always never know where to look at the camera. I think if I look at the camera, then this is looking at you, but I'm not really sure. I am not here for anything specific or uh, just got my own notification. How cool is that? Not for anything specific. I just felt like asking the question, how are you feeling today? I am experiencing some things, and I was just curious if anybody else was. And if they are, I just figured I'd open it up. I'm going to look through my video notes and see if there's anything that is something I might like to share. But good morning, whoever just popped in. This says there's two of you, so whomever you may be, welcome. So yeah, I'm just going to a lot. Let me just, you know what, I've been doing a lot of frequency reset this morning, so I'm just going to do this with you guys. Interesting. I love it when that happens. I have two people that pop in and then disappear. It's very interesting. It happens every time I go live. Okay. All right, little frequency reset there for me. Hello, Robert. So good to see you. How are you doing, brother? I'm just here. I'm not sure what for, but we're going to see what comprises. I just felt like reaching out, so here I am. And I did ask the question on the heading of this, how are you feeling? So, hello. Good morning, Miss Silver Wings and Mr. Robert. Grateful to see you this morning. You could have been the first two that popped in and then popped out, but I have this weird anomaly that occurs every time I go live. I immediately get one viewer that it just happens right away, and then they disappear, and it's quite interesting. So, yeah. I didn't announce this to anybody. I'm just going to let it be organic and let it be whatever it is. I don't know if I'm ready to share that yet. That's a big subject. I don't know if I have enough time or battery power for that one. I just got a text. You're probably going to hear some noises, so all good and all wonderful. You're well, thank you. I'm glad, Robert. I'm glad that you're well. Why do you only see me in here? Oh, it's probably because it depends on where you signed in at, Silver Wings. I've got this streaming on The Way of Mary and on, I believe, as well as on Facebook. So you might be popping into a different venue. Only myself here in my StreamYard desktop can see all of the text sometimes. So that's probably what it is. Robert's probably come into to a different channel than you are. So that's probably what the case is. So. Okay, I think maybe I will share this part. I did a video just a little bit ago on the 1212 portal, and it said, my notes say, make a video on the 13th, which I didn't make it on the 13th. It's obviously well past that, but let's see what it was that was going on in my crazy head at the time. I always write everything down, so let's see. So on the 13th, I had a revelation that has come to me, and it's completely, its wholeness, it's in that 13th level that I spoke about in the other video. Okay, I did speak a little bit about the 12 videos. 12 videos. Yes, we're doing some post-coffee. I'm still in my jammies, guys. I'm like in this really fun get-up of a pullover, not a pullover, but a zip-up hoodie in my pajamas, because I just got up and I just felt like I wanted to do this. So I decided to jump on. I'm just following my crazy heart as I always do. So I'm definitely post any libations this morning. I'm just having tea, not coffee today, but I spoke in the 12th dimension that the number 13, just had all kinds of different storylines in this earth life that we live. A lot of people think that it's bad luck, and there's a lot of things about it that have dissuaded it. But I believe that the reason why there's been a lot of duality negatively, surrounding it, and I just use the word negative so that we know that we're talking about the dark part of love, not the light part of love, as everything is divinity. It's just duality that we created on purpose. So anyways, 13 has always represented that space for me. It's ethereal, fully and totally. And I just looked up, that's so cool. As soon as I said that, what a confirmation. 5:55 minutes, 5 people in the room. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for that. That there is that it's a level of completion. It's that place in the ethereal spaces, your I am presence, that never leaves that place. It's where we are one. It is where we're energetically connected, and always that way, and always will be. It's the place of origin and expansion. And like I had said in my other video, I talked about the 12 levels that were actually 12 sparks that bounced out of Origin's first love affair with itself, once it separated just enough to exchange that love back and forth between the two energies that it divided itself into, to have this experience that we are now experiencing in multifaceted ways, because that beautiful orgasmic explosion that occurred in the Origin is just continuing and always will. This is what divinity does, right? So 13, it represents the divinity, that wholeness origin. Okay. Okay, so there was some stuff on it that I didn't really want to share other than that, because there's some things that I'm going through in my personal story that I will be sharing at a later date, because I'm not done processing it yet. I'm taking myself on a journey, and I'm not quite done yet and ready to share that part. But it's some things that have happened that I've discovered some beautiful things about this time that we're in. Now, I have talked a lot about, the joining of union and this time of union, which it is absolutely that time where we're basically coming out of hermit mode and all that beautiful internal work and jumping back into the earth game, so to speak. And if that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. We're not all on the same time frames and timelines. We're shifting constantly. I don't know if you notice that, but I certainly do every day, it seems like. So take what resonates and what doesn't. Don't worry about it at all, at the slightest. So the things that I'm going through and the places that I'm discovering, okay, about vulnerability and being vulnerable and opening up our heart chakras and being in those places where we're now, I don't know about you, but I find myself being presented with opportunities to not only be in union with beloveds, sisters, brothers, partners, everything. But I'm also finding that my story has opened up for me to reconnect with some of those beloveds that I was disconnected from through my, night, what do they call that? I can't remember. My brain is not going to be up to speed this morning. I apologize. The shadow work that we all just did, the hermit mode that we just went through, where we all went into ourselves as a collective and as a planet, as a matter of fact, because of the interesting world conditions that kind of quarantined us all for some time. So we had that moment and we're coming out of it, and now union is presenting itself. And I just, in that 13, it was like a culmination of this vulnerability. And I think that's part of what I'm feeling this morning, and you might be experiencing the same, I don't know. A dark night of the soul. Thank you, Miss Silverwings. Appreciate you. Your brain is working. I'm grateful. See, we're one. Part of my brain is in this beloved, so it's helping me think. It's wonderful. Thank you, dark night of the soul. Good morning, Sinette. How are you? And she says, love you to everyone. And here, I'll just pop her comment up real quick. There it is. She says, good morning, sending love to you, Shannon, and to everyone is here. Thank you for that. Love you. Okay, so there's a vulnerability that is being asked of us at this point, because we're going back into an arena that we just spent a great deal of time disconnecting from in order to get that hamster wheel that was spinning in the wrong direction in the right direction. And once again, I use the words wrong and right directly. These are human words. They help you to understand that I'm talking about just different directions. So we balanced and moved this wheel of love forward. It was in a reversal, and we did that within. And now we're coming out, and the outer is starting to present that inner growth. And there's just a level of vulnerability that's being asked of us. And I have experienced this, and I have bravely gone into that arena. You're very welcome. Yes, I am well. On an ethereal sense, I am perfectly well as always. In the Earth game today, got some boots on the ground action going on. So I think that's why I figured I'd just jump in and see how is everyone feeling. So I just wanted to just, I'm being vulnerable right now by just presenting myself in the way that I am. I don't have very much time, so it won't be too long because I do have to get to work here. Got a lot of things to do. Got to get dressed and get my booty in gear. But I just felt the need to reach out. And, I can feel myself getting kind of wound. So I'm just going to take a breath. This happens to me a lot. I suspect that Earth character Shannon might be a little bit ADHD. Well, not HD, just ADD. I get so much information coming into me and through me and experiencing it in so many different levels that I think I overwhelm myself. So I just need to breathe and just be here in this now moment with you all and just share with you that this vulnerability, I think that's really kind of where I'm at this morning. And I wanted to jump out here and just be vulnerable. There's a lot of things occurring in this phase now that are very much the same, but we're coming at them from such different frequencies that it's brand new ground for us. It's a brand new story. I'm the new now me, and I know that you are. So engaging this earth plane with this new vibration is different. Yes, Sinette, I like that. That's very true. We do have our inner peace. And see, that's probably what I'm talking about, Sinette, is that this is different because now we have this equilibrium. We went within and we got that inertia going in the right direction, which I see it as that, that figure 8, how love is moving forward as opposed to getting hung up in some of those heavier dualities. So we're now in this place and we have that, and now we're navigating. Oh, Mr. Duncan, yay! I'm so excited to see you. Yes, Duncan, I'm so happy to see you. I have missed your presence in the 3D, 4D, 5D experience with me here. Your presence is never gone, though. I feel you, and I'm so grateful. My beautiful brother Duncan, he's here from England this morning. So grateful for you, my love. So this vulnerability and this new sense of, I don't know about you, but my peace, even though I still go through the earth experience, I completely embrace it and allow it. This peace is very formidable and it's very granite solid within me. And I do experience in my earth story wavering, back and forth, which reminds me, that just brought me to a point. I'm going to share it. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Bashar. It's a beautiful beloved spirit that is being channeled by a beautiful beloved brother. And there's sometimes I just get some beautiful gems from there. I'm going to read something for you. This was really impactful to me, and it's really assisted me in this time frame. So yes, good morning, Miss Lisa. Yes, Sinit, I like that. The well of peace is also our solid ground amongst the storms. Yes, and that is my desire. I just see my Yeshua sleeping on that, that sideboard in the boat in the midst of the storm. Everything coming at you, and you can have a nap. That's the level I am working for. Yes. Oh, thank you, my love. I'll pop this up. We have van life. That's wonderful. I'm grateful that you're here. Yes, I just felt like I was to come forward this morning, and judging by the response, I'm grateful that I followed my heart. I always am. So in this time where we're 100% open heart chakra vulnerable, but yet so steadfast in this inner peace that we've gained through all the inner work that we've done, I'm finding that this is a very different game, but I'm also finding that navigating it, even though it's like a brand new story, it just feels like everything's brand new, uncharted territory. I'm finding that the amount of time it takes to transmute, to move into places, to work through things, to get yourself back into that homeostasis in the outer, matching, in your human self in this earth game, matching that inner that just seems to be steadfast, is very quick. And it's also doesn't feel like it used to. It was heavier before. It felt more burdensome. It was more difficult before this time that we're now coming out and blooming into. I'm finding that these things, when they come forward, they get transmuted very swiftly. As soon as we use that center point gravity within our sacred heart center and we connect the as above, so below to that, it just seems to go boom, and there you are again. It seems to happen very quickly, but it is once again feeling very alien. Yes, I feel you, Silver Wings, and I want to address everybody who puts forward feelings this morning. Let me just read these really quick, and then we're going to talk about that because I feel you 100%. Okay, so I'm going to take that comment down real quick so we can focus on this. Bashar said basically there's only 5 rules to this whole thing that we're doing, from the ether all the way down to the boots on the ground earth story, as above, so below. I added a 6th, and I think it's just as much a part of this equation as the 5. 1, all is love. There really is nothing else, because even the duality that we experience, like you said, my beloved one, about experiencing watching people die and suffer around you, even that suffering that's being proposed as the word we know as suffering comes from love. Everything is love. Believe it or not, one of our benevolent and beautiful, wonderful sparks of origin from the very beginning of this story put him, herself, I'm not going to go into gender on it, in a position to be the darkness, for us to have that duality, because somebody had to create that. Since there is no darkness, there is no fear, there is no duality in origin, but yet we desire to have this experience one with each other. A benevolent had to step forward to carry that light, the dark light. So this is all love. So that's number 1, all is love. Number 2, you exist. Yes, I'm glad you're resting, Sinette. That's wonderful. Me too. There were some giants in my way as well, and I'm resting today too. I came to something beautiful in the night, and I am resting today too. You exist, okay? Here we are, right? You see me? I see you. Do you see me? I see you. We exist. That's a given. Regardless of how you want to define what this existence is, we exist. Everything that's happening is here and now. I talked about that in my last video, how everything's happening in all these beautiful timelines that we're creating, unimaginable, limitless timelines, but it's all happening at the same moment, the now moment, because time is a construct. So if you remember that all is love, you exist, everything is here and now, you have access to everything here and now. Think about that with your Christed mind. Hold that in your heart for a moment. That's very important. What you put out is what you get back. Always, always. Love moves forward, and it does this beautiful figure 8. As we as divinities, we push that love forward in our divine sacred heart. It does this. And then we receive it back, and then we multiply it, shake it down until it is flowing out of us so fully that we push it forward again. And it immediately comes back in that perfect figure 8 every time. This is the law of love. It's how it works. The only thing we need to focus on is putting love forward. Putting love forward. Yes. Putting love forward, because it flips itself back around. So what you put out is what you get back. So what do you want to see? Be it. Be what you want to see. Don't worry about what you see outside the windows of your airplane. Look at your instrumentation panel that tells you that you are divine perfection at the ethereal level. All is love, this first rule, and just keep moving forward. Be what you want to see. Do not be concerned with what you see until it does match energetically with what you're being, and then rejoice. And this is my rule that I add to it because it just felt poignant. Every single thing changes except for these 6 laws. And I don't think that's the one that I added to it. Which one did I add? No, maybe that was it. Oh, I skipped one. I'm sorry. The one is the all, and the all are the one. That's something that is hard for us sometimes to wrap our brains around. But if you remember these 5 points, and once again, I will say them again in order without interruption. The one is the all, and the all are the one. So therefore, we're never disconnected. Yes, we are individuated aspects. We exist. I'm here with you. I'm talking to you. You are now manifest outside of me. You are my beloved outside of me. And we get to bounce this ball of love back and forth with each other for the expansion and the experience. So the all are one. And then the one is all. It's once again, it's the figure 8. Once again, all is one are all. It is that perfect circle. And every single thing changes. But, buckle up, Buttercup, because the only things that don't change is what I just spoke to you. But everything else changes. In this earth paradigm, this story that we're telling, everything changes constantly. It does. And it's constantly going to happen. So do not, it is so good to see all of you too. Yes, very good to see you. I'm glad to be seen. Oh, believe me, I'm very glad to be seen. I've loved and missed you all very much. So in saying that, see, and I lost my train of thought. See what love does? Isn't it wonderful? It just pulls us out of anything that's the only thing that's really important anyway, right? Okay, so number 1, all is love. There is nothing else. Start to solidify in every, and there's something I say to myself every day. Love is all I can be and all I know to be, and love is all I choose to see in everything all the time, regardless of what the duality proposes to me. And that can be as ugly as the worst pain you've ever felt in your heart due to a circumstance and union with someone that you love dearly, all the way to, light things like somebody, cutting me off on the highway. Everything is love. I said I was going to read these without interruption. I am contradicting my own self. Let me start again. 1, all is love. There is nothing else. 2, you exist. 3, everything is here and now. Here and now. The one is the all are the one. What you put back out, what you put out is what you get back. And this is what I added to it. Every single thing changes except for these 5 laws, or the 6 ones. The 6th one, it's just basically stating that everything's going to change. So just get accustomed to everything in this story changing. But I think the reason why I'm finding this such a different and new and interesting game is that having that understanding that my internal kingdom doesn't change any longer. It doesn't waver. It doesn't move. But everything around me does. And accepting that and loving that for what it is. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I loved that. It spoke to me very much. Just remembering those key points about our divinity. Okay, so let's see. God, okay, so now I wanted to go back to what Silverwing said. Yeah, oh, that's right. She was talking about experiencing, and I said this in the other, and I love this analogy. It works really good for me. You're flying your plane of divinity. You're the consciousness behind the plane flying. And you've got all of the outer, the stuff that always changes out here as you're flying. But in here is your kingdom. And your instrument panel in front of you is the only real truth. It doesn't matter what's happening out here. You follow that. And if you know anything about piloting or flying, pilots don't trust what they see outside of themselves. They trust their instrumentation panel because it tells them in things that don't look right on the outside of the windows how to stay even and not to crash, right? To keep going. So they trust their instruments. Oops, I just pulled my earbud out. 2 seconds. Got caught on my sleeve. Trust your instrument panel as you're going along. But there is all this stuff going on. And see, one of our beloveds in here shared that they're witnessing in this, the windows going by, people suffering and dying and saying, I don't like this game. Okay. As a beautiful wonderful divine creator, my love, and please understand this comes from the depths of my open heart chakra to you. When you, as a divine creator of your own story, say, I don't like this game, everything in creation listens to you because you are that I am. Remember, the all is one and the one is all. You are divinity. So the idea behind this is to, when we hear ourselves, do not judge for doing that. Do not negate it. Do not harm self because you made this statement at all. Step outside of that statement and look at it. I just said, I don't like this game. Whenever we don't like something, it's because we're judging it as being something less than desirable. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Step outside of the box of not liking this game and seeing outside of your window all the suffering and the things that you are having trouble, difficulties with dealing. And believe me, trust me, I'm in that space this morning. I totally feel you. Step outside of the box into the back of your cockpit, if you will. Now open your eyes and look at your instrumentation panel. What does it say? Those 5 laws. Everything is here and now. Everything is love. All is well. And everything changes besides these truths. So everything's as it should be. So look at that statement that you made. I don't like this game. And maybe you can look at it from a different perspective. What if we change the judgment of this game and the suffering being real, being what it is proposing itself at? It's coming from love because everything is love. Take a deep breath. Step out in your observer mode and look at the circumstances around you, the sick, the dying, the people that are buying into the doom and gloom paradigms. That's the timelines they're choosing, and that's as it should be. They get that right to make that divine choice. That's their story and their creation. See it, look full face at it. Do not ignore it. It's another form of a lower frequency, a darker part of the soul, the duality, fear. If you ignore it, like, oh, there's a lot of this, I don't vibrate with you anymore, so I'm going to remove myself from you. And that's totally perfectly acceptable. Been there, done that, still looking at that sometimes for myself. But the idea in this now moment is to begin to practice your divinity in its fullness and wholeness. So step out of that statement and say, if I don't like this game, I'm proposing that I'm here, possibly not by choice. It's somewhat of a victim mentality. I don't like this. I want out. It's uncomfortable. I just want to go home. All these sentiments, and believe me, they're beautiful sentiments. They're leading us on our journey. Absolutely everything beautiful about them. But in this time frame, if you're trying to move away from things that are affecting you and you're wanting to go home, or you're feeling like, I don't like this game, look deep inside of yourself. Are you seeing possibly that you still have a little bit of a victim mentality, like this is happening to you instead of for you and by you? Maybe you have made a label and a judgment that this earth game is bad and that it is less than what you desire. Being less than what you desire, beautiful. But everything is actually love. The duality, the darkness and the light are being reintegrated into holy self. As we speak, we are reintegrating both energies together back into holy, holy, holiness. So it is still the old order to negate those darker portions of this story that we're telling. Do we desire to see them going in their imbalanced duality? No. That's why I'm being what I want to see. So in saying that, being what you want to see, pay attention to this. Acknowledge it. Do not ignore it. But do not let that be your equilibrium. Everything is love. So when those things come into you, sit with those feelings. Invite them in. And reintegrate all of those things back into holy self. So anytime that we don't like this game, or we feel the need to leave, or we want to be out from under the pressure, we've created that pressure ourselves in order to bring something about in our refinement. So just take a deep breath and sit with that emotion and go, I don't like this game. I wonder what that's about. I see people suffering and dying. What is my understanding of what's happening in that outer? And I'm not going to give you the answers for that because you already have them. They're perfectly written within you, for you. I'm simply here this morning desiring to be vulnerable and to be in love with all of my beloveds. So let's see here. What do we got? Okay. It's difficult but exciting at the same time. Yes, it is very exciting. I totally agree with you. I'm getting texts. I apologize for the noise. I'm going to just go back here and okay, Sinette said yes, she will not feed the gremlins or the fear mongering. Well, the thing is you don't have to feed it. No, you get to choose what timeline you want to be on. I know exactly what my timeline looks like. And I'll tell you right now that the outer in my life, mostly, there's still proposals there, but mostly looks like what I desire to see. 2 years ago, night and day difference. I have created what's around me now with intention. I'm being what I want to see. And you know what? That first foot out the door, being what you want to see, does not produce the see. Just let me tell you that right away. This stuff going by because you're just hoping and hoping because you have this beautiful hope, it doesn't become that right away. It comes faster than it used to. But that's why we can't use this to focus our equilibrium on. We can watch it. We're engaging it fully. I am fully. I mean, I just did some serious vulnerable crap. Just jumped out there like a brave soldier and just, yeah, and feeling some of the things that I didn't expect. That's another thing that's really important to this moment, is to jump in fully with your whole heart and follow these things in this new moment that we're in by engaging this earth story and expect beautiful, wonderful things. All the hope in your heart gives you an expectation of beautiful things coming forward. But within that expectation, there's something inside of it that you need to remember that's inside of that expectation. And that is the release of letting things be what they are. So you can expect beautiful, wonderful things here where your equilibrium is, where your instrument panel says everything is perfect. Hold that expectation here. Don't validate it out here, because the minute we do that, then we step back into that cycle again. And it's okay if you do. Keep stepping into it until your higher self brings you through it and to a revelation on the other side. It's absolutely beautiful. All of your comings and goings in this story are perfect. So cut yourself some slack. You're doing great. Jumping into this story with everything in you and hoping and focusing on the beautiful things, being what you want to see and fully expecting, knowing now in this now moment, that's what I fully expect as I be that I will see. I'm also now in the process of remembering that as soon as that now moment happens and it presents something that doesn't match what I'm being, the seeing isn't the being. Example of, okay, let's say you have a relationship at work that you've dived into, that you're going to start being what you want to see in that relationship, that work relationship. It's been tense, it's been difficult, it's been something that makes you dread going to work every day. So you start to begin to practice to be what you want to see. What do you want to see in it? Cohesiveness, kindness to one another, a support of one another, working together as opposed to against each other. And this person is the most vile employee person that you've ever worked with in your life, to just make your life a living HE double hockey sticks, if you know what I mean. But you've decided to be what you want to see. So you move into this engagement being what you want to see. As soon as you start being what you want to see, I can guarantee you're not going to see what you're being. Maybe not at all. That may be the process for you. But if you are going to see it, it will take some time. And if you focus on the fact that you are being what you want to see, and all gets thrown back at you is more blah, more projection of that person's inner kingdom, don't use that to keep your equilibrium. Do not use that to keep your equilibrium. Use this, your instrumentation panel, to keep your equilibrium. And just keep watching, because you will begin to see in your divinity little sparks of seeing what you're being. You'll see it. I know you will, because I've seen it. And just do not be dissuaded by not seeing what you're being in the outer. It's here. Just keep watching, pay attention, do not ignore it, fully engage it. But don't let it keep your equilibrium, because that's what happens is, then what does it do? This is another thing that I've been, dabbling in, is producing quality emotions in one another as a gift. And you do this within yourself. If you believe what you're being and you're not seeing it, and that person just spews something ugly and hurtful at you, and you've just been nailing being what you want to see, and then it gets to the point where you're like, oh, it's a difficult thing to process when someone's doing that while you're being what you want to see. Even more difficult platonic, distant relationships, like at work. I just use that because it was generic. But in interpersonal, closely connected relationships, even harder, because our hearts are open. And so if you do experience hurt because for a moment you've believed what they're showing you that they're being, and it's hurt you, pull that in, sit with it. Do not resist it. Hurt, doubt, fear, anxiety, all the things that this duality can offer you are just hungering at being reintegrated into holy self. So when they come to you in that process, which very well could be why you're not seeing what you're being right away, because you're a powerful transmutator, take that feeling and sit with it. Instead of resisting it, honor it and say, I feel you. I'm going to say anxiety because I just grappled with some of that myself. I feel you, anxiety. I feel that anxiousness within myself. I see you and I feel you, and I fully accept you and honor you. And I also love you, and I'm not going to resist you. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to ask you to do something for me, though. I'm going to ask you to just come on in, all of you. All of the frequency that's coming either from my internal misunderstanding of this, or it's actually being projected to me by another beautiful creator. Whichever energy, wherever it's coming from, because there's no separation, I'm asking you to come in, and I'm just going to let myself feel it in its fullness. And that can be fear, sadness, depression, whatever duality is presenting itself on the darker levels, whatever it is, feel it. Be willing to get ugly. Be willing to go into those cringy places and feel it. And allow yourself to feel it. And then love it and accept it. And tell it that it's home. And that now I'm going to purposely, with my divine I am presence, take some deep breaths, and I'm going to transmute you back into the wholeness that you are and what you're hungry for, because I'm looking at my instrumentation panel and it says that I am divine perfection, that we all are. Everything is love. One is all and all is one. You get what you put out, and everything changes but those universal laws. And then just love yourself and love that emotion, and then take a few deep breaths. And now look at that person that you just were in that scenario with. I guarantee you your eyes will see something differently, and then get right back up to being what you want to see. And do that every day, all day. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay. Silver Ring says this is meat stuff, and I'm gonna maybe do an hour. I've got 20 minutes left. If children are being abused, I do not believe they created it. That is a beautiful point, and how brave of you to bring something so raw and so absolutely human to the table, and I appreciate you for that. All right, thank you for that. If children are being abused, I do not believe they created it. All right, I have some homework for you, my loves. I want you to go on The Voice. What's the name of it? I'm going to look it up real quick because I got to get the name right. It's my beautiful brother Barry's channel. I know some of you are already familiar with it, but I'm going to just look it up. I always say it wrong, and I don't want to say it wrong. I want to say it correctly. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Giving voice to the wisdom of the ages. My beautiful brother Barry has a story that he's written on there. So I want you to go. Matter of fact, maybe I'll see if I can find it. It might be on my playlist. I want you to go, and I want you to find a story that he audio orated. He read it on his site. It's called Annabelle. This will really help you, my beautiful sister, with understanding how a child can be involved in a created circumstance. Because you understand, did we all not come here as children? You and I, we all came through the portal of the divine goddess womb. There isn't anybody on this planet that gets in here without going through that portal. We all did. We were all children. Are we any less or more that child right now? No, we're not. It is difficult to accept that children in their child form, you've been on this journey since you incarnated in this incarnation, and you went through your childhood because you chose to do that. It is hard to understand that. I understand. I am an early childhood educator, 30 plus years. I have 5 children, several grandbabies. I love babies like I can't even tell you, and children. I'm a child advocate. That was my chosen field of study. So I get your heart. But we're starting to look at this from not this perspective, the instrument panel. So I encourage you to go listen to that story, Annabelle. It talks about a benevolent spark and the journey that they went through before they incarnated and why they did. And you want to talk about the worst childhood on the planet that Annabelle experienced once she incarnated here and why she did. It might help you to gain an insight as to how children, as well as adults, because there's no separation, we're just in different forms of human, existence, actually fully chose to be right where they're at. And I know that's a really hard thing to hear and to understand, but it is the truth, because there are no victims in this story. Divinity chose this story, and we are all part of that. Remember one of the rules? All is one and one is all. We're all individuated, beautiful aspects that popped out of the beautiful love affair between Origin's first recognition of self. All of us are. And what a magnificent thing to get to be. But there is no separation. So this is a different perspective. Step outside of the box. We're going to start looking at suffering from a different perspective. The divine perspective from our I am presence. It's the truth, and what does the truth do? It sets you free. So I know that that's a difficult thing to, I know I had to process through it myself, and it wasn't easy being my given profession. And in the spirit of vulnerability and openness, I am also a victim of sexual child abuse. I had an extremely abusive childhood. So I've experienced that abuse as a child, and I have fully accepted that I created it, that I put myself in that position. My divine higher self wrote this story for this incarnation for me to walk through in order to be the bridge that we're all being called to be right now in this now moment. I fully accept it. And as a matter of fact, I've come into a place that I celebrate, love, and completely embrace everything that occurred to me in both duality, the super light and the super dark and everything in between. I'm grateful for those things occurring. I am grateful for them. I accept them and love them because everything is love. So I highly encourage you to go watch that movie. Listen to that story. I will do my best to find the link to it and put it in the comments after I get off of here, because I don't want to pull away from this live by looking up links, but I will do that for you. I absolutely will, because it really touched me. It helped me to understand the depths that a soul will go through to join in the expansion of divinity. We are multidimensional beings. We are connected to all things that are created all at once by a frequency, by a song that is origin source. We're never separated from it. And source, origin, chose this. We are the result of that choice, the children of that parent, if you will. It is worth the journey. It absolutely is. And do you see divinity? Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I love what you just said, Sinette. Sinette is quoting Origin. Origin being the origin of all of this. As soon as it decided, this beautiful creative frequency decided to experience itself, to celebrate just enough to experience itself, it saw the totality of everything that happened from beginning to end in the 12, because the 13th is nothing to do with that. That is ethereal perfection, light, and truth. But this 12-dimensional thing that we're doing, multi-dimensional, all over the place, happening all at once. Origin saw all of that in its completion, because it is finished. And guess what Origin decided? Just what our beautiful sister Sinette just said. It's worth it. If it wasn't worth it, We wouldn't be here doing it as individuated aspects of that origin, children of that benevolent first love. We wouldn't be continuing. We'd be back in that source state of just all being light. There wouldn't be any duality, and we'd be experiencing only being the light. But origin saw it in its totality and said, it's worth it. Let's do it. And here we are. We're the doers. We're the ones doing it by being. All right, I'm at 45 minutes. So unless somebody has anything else to say that they would love to add to it, I'm going to go ahead and go. I have to get some breakfast in me and get dressed and get out and get started on my job. And then I will just report some very exciting news. I probably won't be doing much for the next 2 weeks because the day after tomorrow, I am flying to see my beautiful daughter. And we are going to be spending the Christmas holiday together, a full 8 days, just the two of us. And I'm highly looking forward to it. So another beautiful blessing that has come to me, by me, and through me, and for you, since nothing is separated. I love you all so much. Oh, I love that, Sinette. You're just imparting so much beautiful wisdom. Thank you for being a part of this. I may have just provided this platform for you to share your energy this morning. You've been absolutely uplifting to me, and I know that it has been to everyone else. Very worth it for all. Forward with the tools we have acquired through our paths. Yes, that's so true. The toys in the sandbox that we have remembered that we have. And we'll just keep going from this point forward. Thank you, Sinette. Yes, it's going to be awesome. And of course, I carry you all with me. And all the joy that I am creating, all the things that I'm putting forth, and the being that I want to see, I take you with me always, because we are so not separated in any way, shape, or form. But how fun that we get to be individuated. I get to look into this camera and know that you're out there listening to me. And I get to know that you love me and that I love you. And I can take this love that we are and give it to you. And then you can give it back to me. My next video is going to be talking about emotional quality. This is something we can do in this game right now, boots on the ground, that we can do for one another, is we can create this emotional quality. And there is something chemically and alchemy based in this beautiful thing we can do for one another as we create the chemicals of positive, beautiful, emotional feelings in each other. There's something that alchemizes in a way that we have never reached before. It's another new plateau. So I'm going to be sharing about emotional quality. I'm going to put that in my notes right now so that I don't forget, because I don't like to say I'm going to do it and then not do it. That is something that is just not okay with me. So let me do that real quick in my video notes. Okay. I'm going to put that in all caps. Emotional quality. Okay, very good. It's there. Now it will spur the memories and the thoughts so that I can share that with you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. And if I don't see you again before our beautiful Christmas holiday, which is just another tool, another toy in the sandbox. I know so many people, I did it too. I completely disengaged from all earth things. But I'm totally re-engaged the entire Earth story, and I am loving this holiday. I am just jumping in for all the joy and the love that I can move forward in it. I'm doing it. The bacon, the gifts, the love, all of it, whatever it means to you. Oh, thank you, Sinette. I look forward to being here with you again. So just go and enjoy it. And Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to you. I love you so much, and I want you to have the most blessed, abundant, we're birthing Christ within ourselves all the time. So let's just celebrate that. Let's enjoy each other. Let's have some good food, sing some fun songs, and giggle and wear silly pajamas and eat candy and give each other gifts and just be children. I want that kind of Christmas for you. I'm going to send that out to you because that's the Christmas I'm having. I've been working hard on it. It's going to be awesome. I'm super happy about it. I love you all so much. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. You have lifted me. Please know that your love for me that I've experienced this morning by sharing myself in vulnerability with you has lifted my heart, and you've created some beautiful quality emotions in your beloved sister this morning, and I am grateful for you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful New Year, and I will be coming soon when heart moves me to do so. I love you.